This is not a home game for you. This is not, you guys are not the home team here. In fact, I believe you're technically the road team, and I don't think you should be in your home locker room. You should be in the visitors' locker room.
Out.
It is some odd quirk that's never happened before where you actually get to host the Super Bowl. No, you don't. First of all, if it was based on anything about accomplishments, you won 11 games, the Chiefs won 14. You played each other, the Chiefs won. So if anything, this game should be moved to Kansas City. But they're not going to do that. So it happens to be in Tampa. Congrats, everybody. Third best city in Florida is getting the Super Bowl. But if you guys try to fire your stupid cannons when you score a touchdown, the game is played under protest. It should be a 15-yard penalty for every cannon firing. I applaud the NFL for stepping in. I'm now anxious about if they're going to do the old Patriot thing, mess with the headsets. This is not a Tampa home game. Get that Bucks logo off center field. It's a game that's played in Tampa.
Technically
Zip it with your stupid cannons. It is technically not, actually, Jenna. It technically is a neutral site game, and I can't believe they even requested their cannons.
All right, well, Dusty has texted me 27 times that technically it is, that they got to choose which uniforms they wanted to wear. All right, speaking of the Super Bowl, we are just 4 days away, so we decided to have a little fun. We asked Nick to draw up a pyramid of the most important players taking the field on Sunday, top to bottom. I barely got the words out, and Nick was like, done, done, see you tomorrow. So, Nick, it's all you, buddy.
Is there a committee here to
reveal? There is no committee. This is all me. And you guys might say, Nick, you're a little stressed out over the cannons thing. Well, that's because the producers for the show made me mad yesterday. They asked me to make this pyramid. I made this pyramid. It was a 14-tier, 105-player pyramid. Every single player was included that's active for the game, except for Chiefs punter Tommy Townsend, because he obviously won't see the field. They told me that's too much. So they restricted the 105-player pyramid to a 7-tier, 28-player pyramid. So I'd like to give you all 105. They told me I can't, so revealed the 28. They even told me I have to be quick on the first few rows. All right, fine. Very bottom row. Those are offensive, I don't want to say role players, but offensive guys that I don't think either team is leaning on. They have to have a huge game, but would love them to. The 6th row, same thing, but on the defensive side of the ball. Very good defensive players. You see rookie L'Jarius Sneed, Dirty Dan Sorensen on the right-hand side. You see the great inside linebackers for the Bucks in the middle. Role defensive players, good defensive players. 5th row. Guys that could make monster splash plays. I'm looking at you, Gronk. I'm looking at you, Sammy Watkins. You might say, Nick, is that a kicker in there? That is a kicker in there. Harrison Butker, but not for good reasons. Harrison Butker missed 6 extra points this year, missed another one in the playoffs. I don't want to hear Harrison Butker's name being brought up during this broadcast. It stresses me out. Now show me the 10 most important guys. Zoom in on it, if you will. This bottom row. Chris Jones, Shaq Barrett, Mike Evans, Tyrann Mathieu. If Shaq Barrett and Mike Evans have big games, the Bucks can win. If Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu have big games, the Chiefs can blow the Bucks out. They're 4th row. 3rd row, Kelsey, JPP, Hill. All 3 of these guys will make impact, potentially game-changing plays. JPP coming off the edge, Hill getting loose deep, Kelsey over the middle repeatedly. Then we get to our 2nd row. Obviously, Tom Brady is one of the most important people in this game. You might say, who the hell is that next to Tom Brady? That is Mike Rimmers. He is now the Chiefs' starting left tackle. You might say, Mike Rimmers, where do I know that name from? Because he's replacing Eric Fisher. Okay, you know the name because Mike Rimmers played in the Super Bowl once before. It was Super Bowl 50. He was Cam Newton's right tackle, and Von Miller used that to get a Super Bowl MVP. 2 strip sacks courtesy of Von Miller on Mike Rimmers. That is the one and only thing that should be keeping the Chiefs up at night are those 2 plays right there. And then obviously the most important player in the game, Patrick Mahomes. So there's your player pyramid, Brandon. There was no committee, which means I would argue it's probably the most flawless pyramid we have. With respect to the committee, we're going to have to make some changes this offseason. This was just me, myself, and so we have a perfect pyramid. Your thoughts, Brandon Marshall?
Hey, listen, I was prepared to come on here and say, look, guys, our fans in Brazil, our fans around the country, like, they want to be entertained. They want me to come on here. They want Wilds to come on here and push back. But you got this right. That's what I was prepared to say. Oh, but after you going through Mike Rimmers and how important of a piece he is, wouldn't we say he should be #1, Nick? Right? Like, we know who Patrick Mahomes is. We know he's going to get the job done. But if he's not standing upright, and you got JPP and Shaq Barrett on the other side, then I would actually change my approach here, and I would petition to move Rimmers up to #1. You know, I thought you did a great job here, and the reason why I thought you did a great job here was because most people are going to leave off offensive linemen. Most people are going to leave off the kickers. The last 10 Super Bowls, 6 out of them were decided by, you know, 1 score. So the kickers are the most important pieces to this puzzle when it comes down to these games. So I would actually, if I'm being picky, maybe include Ryan Suckup. But I thought you nailed this. But, you know, man, after your thoughts on Mike Rimmers, you may need to consider moving him up, buddy.
So a couple things. One is the reason Butker's on here and Suckup isn't is I think it's in play Bruce Arians has if we're inside the 30, we're going all 4 downs. I think it's possible that Arians and Leftwich and Brady's philosophy is no field goals, that we're not kicking field goals, and Suckup could be on the sideline for most of the game. If Rimmers is the most important person in the game, the Chiefs lose. That's the fact. If Mike Rimmers' name is said more than twice on the broadcast, it is a disaster for Kansas City. Now, what they do, he has been starting for them for months at the right tackle position because of the injury to Mitchell Schwartz. But then when Fisher goes down, he slides to the left, and Andrew Wiley takes over on the right-hand side. That is, Wilds, the spot that the Bucs are going to try to key in on. The Chiefs' banged-up offensive line. And if you bring this damn Raven back, the Raven that's actually a parrot, if that is what you are holding on to right now, I'm going to be legitimately angry. I made a 105-player pyramid.
On a
it
bite.
took me 6 hours. What are you doing, Wilds?
I'm not... Fresh from the Ravens' claw comes a new petition. Theo is back. Oh, Theo, good job.
Bravo, Mr. Wild.
All right. So here's my petition. I like the pyramid, but you think you're forgetting one person. This person does not get a lot of attention. And I'm calling him the kidney of the whole Super Bowl. Why is the kidney? Because it doesn't get a lot of attention. But if it goes wrong, oh boy, you're in a lot of trouble. That person is Carlton Davis, and here's why. #1, this is why he's important. #1, aberration alert. He played pretty well all year. We know the Bucs defense is pretty good, but there was one aberration game. Tell me if you can find it. It wasn't week 1, wasn't Allen Robinson. That was all right. Devontae Adams. Oh, there it is right there. Tyreek Hill. That one was a little bit rough. So that's the aberration game. #2, hey, you know what? He knows it. Second time's the charm. He knows that graphic. He's seen it. He's watched the film. Here's what he had to say leading up to the Super Bowl. Look, guys, it wasn't all me. Didn't work out the first game as far as what we did in our game plan. But we've corrected it. We've got a great game plan going in. Hey, I believe you. You know why? Guess what? It's not how you start. It's how you finish. First quarter, hey, how are we going to stop Tyreek Hill? I'll just man him up. That got pretty ugly. That got ugly quick. Scored 2 touchdowns, had 200 yards in one quarter. But the rest of the game, hey, pretty good. Was it a shutdown Michael Thomas performance? Goose egg? No, but at least it looked like a normal football game and not a game of Madden against a child. So, Nick, I'm going to say that Carlton Davis, I'm not saying he's going to have a great game, but I'm saying he's important because if Tyreek Hill gets loose for 4 quarters, like he did the first quarter, we're looking at an 800-yard game from him. So I'm saying Carlton Davis deserves a spot on your pyramid.
This was very smart by Wilds because he knows how much I hate the Raven, so he decided to distract me from the Raven by having a take I hate even more. Carlton Davis has gotten more publicity on this show than the entirety of all media combined. Carlton
Yes.
Davis.
He's good. I like
Nobody is talking about him. No, but I sent you, Wilds, a preemptive strike against a bad, predictable Carlton Davis take. A PFF tweet that was very simple. It just said this: Carlton Davis in coverage this postseason. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 140 passer rating allowed. And the reason that Tyreek Hill stopped annihilating the Bucs was because they started doubling him, and then Travis Kelce had a dozen catches over the middle the rest of that game. So no, Carlton Davis is nowhere on this pyramid. If we extended it 4 more rows,